Hello children, today we will discuss about demerits of Mendeleev's periodic table. In the previous video I told you all advantage of Mendeleev's periodic table, or you can say merits of Mendeleev's periodic table along with feature of the Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, so now we will discuss about what were the demerits of Mendeleev's periodic table. The first one is the presence of anomalous pair. We all know scientist Mendeleev arranged the element in the increasing order of atomic weight. But in the periodic table, some elements were not following this rule. Means they were not arranged in the increasing order of atomic weight. Okay, for example, if any element is having atomic weight 7 and another one is having 8. Okay, so it should be arranged like this: 7 first and 8 later on. Okay, but some pair in the Mendeleev's periodic table were not following this rule. For example, the position of cobalt and nickel. Position of cobalt and nickel. Okay, atomic mass of cobalt is 58.9. Atomic mass of cobalt is 58.9, while atomic mass of nickel is 58.6. Okay, so as per the Mendeleev's rule, right, nickel must have early position in the period as compared to cobalt. It means first nickel should placed later on cobalt, because nickel's atomic mass is less as compared to the cobalt atomic mass. But it was not like that. Okay, cobalt was placed first, later on nickel. Okay, that's why this pair is called as anomalous pair in the Mendeleev's periodic table. Right, one more example I would like to explain with you all. Okay, the position of tellurium and iodine. Position of tellurium and iodine. Tellurium and iodine, right? Atomic mass of tellurium is 127.6, while atomic mass of iodine is 126.9. Atomic mass of iodine is less as compared to tellurium. So iodine must have early position in the period as compared to tellurium, but it was not like that, right? Tellurium were placed first, later on iodine. So it was not following the rule of Mendeleev's. That's why it comes under the category of anomalous pair in the Mendeleev's periodic table. Right? Scientists could not explain the reason behind this. So it was the demerit of Mendeleev's periodic table. Right? Now come at demerit number 2. Position of isotope. Okay, position of isotope. I hope you all know the meaning of isotope. Isotope means the atoms of similar element which have same atomic number but different mass is known as isotope. What I told, atoms of similar element with different mass number and same atomic number is known as isotope. I told you all isotope have different mass. They have different mass. Okay, due to the different mass, their position should be separate in the periodic table, but it was not like that. Okay, isotopes were not having any separate position. For example, chlorine. Chlorine having isotope 35 and 37. 35 and 37. Chlorine 37 and chlorine 35. Okay, according to Mendeleev's law of periodic table, they both have a separate position. Okay, they both should have separate position in the periodic table, but it was not like that. Okay, chlorine is having only one position in the periodic table, so he could not explain the position of isotope, right? Demerit number 3, grouping of chemically dissimilar element. Grouping of grouping of chemically dissimilar element. As it is written, dissimilar element. If element is dissimilar, they must have a separate position in the periodic table. They should not include in the same groups, right? Because their property is dissimilar. But scientist Mendeleev could not explain reason behind this. He placed dissimilar element in the same group. So it was the drawback of Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, for example, elements such as copper and silver, they are not having any resembling property to alkali metals. They are not having, see, copper and silver not having any resembling property. Resembling means similar property to alkali metal, though they were placed in the group of alkali metal. So he could not explain what was the reason behind this, why copper and silver were placed in the group of alkali metal, though they were not having any resembling property to the copper and silver. So scientist Mendeleev could not explain the reason behind this. Right? Now come at demerit number 4. Separation of chemically similar element. Separation of chemically similar element. Chemically similar elements. Right? If elements are chemically similar, they must have same position in the periodic table. But scientist couldn't do like this. Okay, he has done some exception, like gold and platinum. Element gold and platinum are having almost similar property. They both are inert metal, having same chemical property. Still, they were not having similar position in the periodic table. So he could not explain reason behind this. Scientists could not explain why chemically similar elements were placed separately. Why they are not placed in the same group. Example I have given you all. Gold and platinum almost having similar property. Still they were having separate position in the periodic table. Though they must have the same position in the periodic table, they must be included into the same group, but it was not like that. So it was the drawback of scientist why he couldn't do like this, right? Now come at demerit number 5. Electronic arrangement. It is very clear. Scientists explain the arrangement of element on the basis of atomic mass. That's why he could not explain arrangement of electron. Scientist Mendeleev couldn't explain the arrangement of electron into the different orbit. Right? Last one is position of hydrogen. Right? Scientist Dmitry Mendeleev could not explain the position of hydrogen. He placed hydrogen in group number first as well as in the group number, first you can say in the group number 7th. Why it is so? Because it can form compound like HCl and NaH. It means hydrogen can form both positive and negative ion. That's why they were not having any fixed position in the periodic table. So it was also the drawback of Mendeleev's periodic table, right? Mendeleev's could not explain the position of hydrogen. He placed hydrogen in the group number 1A as well as in the group number 7A. Why he placed in the group number 1A? Because hydrogen can form positive ion like alkali metal, that's why. In the same way, it can also form negative ion like halogens, that's why hydrogen is placed into the group number 7A. So scientist Mendeleev could not explain the position of hydrogen. It was also the drawback, or you can say demerit of Mendeleev's periodic table. I hope you people understood demerits of Mendeleev's periodic table. Once we can revise whatever we discussed today. Let's see. Demerit of Mendeleev's periodic table. First of all, I told you all, first demerit was the presence of anomalous pair. We all know, according to Mendeleev's periodic law, elements were arranged in increasing order of atomic weight. So element having less atomic weight must have early position as compared to element having high atomic weight, but it was not like that. Example of anomalous pair I have given you all: copper nickel. Nickel mass is 58.6, which is less as compared to cobalt 58.9. Still the position of nickel was later to cobalt, so it was the drawback of scientist Mendeleev. Tellurium and iodine. Mass of tellurium 127.6 and iodine is 126.9. Mass of iodine is less as compared to the mass of tellurium. Okay, so iodine must have early position as compared to tellurium, but it was not like that. Tellurium was placed first and later on iodine, so it was also the drawback of Mendeleev's periodic table. Then after, position of isotope. Scientists could not explain the position of isotope. We all know isotope means similar atomic number and mass number is different. If mass number is different, then isotope must have a different position, but it was not like that. Isotopes were not having any different position. Grouping of chemically dissimilar element. Scientists placed chemically dissimilar element into the same group, which was also the drawback of Mendeleev's periodic table. Example I have given you all: copper and silver not having any resembling property to alkali metal, still they are placed into the alkali metal group. So it was the drawback of Mendeleev's periodic table. Separation of chemically similar element. I don't know why scientist Mendeleev placed chemically similar element into the different group. Like gold and platinum having almost similar property, still they were not having the position into the same group. They are placed separately. So it was also the drawback of Mendeleev's periodic table. Scientists could not explain electronic arrangement, means distribution of electron into the different shell. In last I told you all, he could not explain the position of hydrogen, because hydrogen is considered into the group number 1A as well as in 7th. Why it is so? Because it can form positively charged ion as well as negatively charged ion. That's why. Right? I hope you people understood Mendeleev's periodic table. Clear? What was the contribution of Mendeleev to the development of periodic table? What was the feature of Mendeleev's periodic table? Merits and demerits, everything we have discussed. Now come at contribution of Henry Moseley for the development of the periodic table. It means we are going to discuss about modern periodic table. Modern periodic table. So let's see the contribution of Henry Moseley. Henry Moseley contribution for the development of periodic table. Right? See, scientist Henry Moseley found that atomic number is a better fundamental property of the elements compared to atomic mass. Till now, up to Mendeleev, whatever we discussed, we observed that elements were arranged in the increasing order of atomic weight. But Henry Moseley did something different as compared to other scientists. He found that atomic number is most appropriate fundamental property of the element as compared to atomic mass, and this led to the development of the modern periodic table. Okay, so Henry Moseley found that atomic number is most appropriate, or you can say most appropriate fundamental property as compared to atomic weight, which led to the development of modern periodic table, right? Periodic table. Clear? I hope you people understood, right? Now see Henry Moseley contribution for the development of the periodic table. We discuss into the next video. Okay, so I would like to say thank you for today's class. Clear?